Y-O-U apostrophe R-E as in you are heart rushes? That sentence doesn't make any sense. Welcome back, everyone. I turned up the volume way too high. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to try that again. It seems for every season there is a sale, and this time it is a Summer Screams sale. This picture, I will say, switch over so you can see it. Oop, wrong button. I will say that the pictures that they create for these sales are hilarious. I do really love them. Every time it makes me laugh. There's always something funny. Like, look at Eternal Night in the background, carrying the suitcase. That's hilarious. Maggie's kind of annoying, but Eternal Night, hysterical. I don't really know what Vendy's doing with regular sunglasses, given that she has, what, 6 eyes? 5 eyes? 5 eyes. I guess only 2 of them matter. I don't know. Or maybe like 4 out of the 5 are going to get covered because those are large enough, like wide enough sunglasses. I don't know. But anyway, chat, we're going to watch some viewer games. Of course, I have to let everybody know that I am part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does, in fact, give me coffee for producing Phobies content. And if you're interested in getting your 15 seconds of fame, you can check out the live stream. Link for that, of course, is down in the description. But the more important part, if you actually want to get your games on stream, check out the Random's Thoughts Discord. That's where you'll find the submission form as well as all the details that you need to complete in order for me to review the games. And believe me, it does matter. It does help. You follow the directions. We always have a few that never do. But we're going to be jumping in. We have a few dupes tonight, so we're going to jump around a little bit within the scope of the spreadsheet. Oop. So we're going to take a peek. Chad, I've had a very exhausting weekend trying to test for the World Championships for Star Wars Unlimited. I'm not having fun. I'm not going to lie. I'm not having fun. But it is what it is. Painful Fate, you've done this before. Why did you not favorite your game? This is definitely not on your... You're killing me. This is why I don't dole out penalties for people not doing it. But I think I'm going to start doling out penalties for people not doing it. All right, Painful Fate will not, in fact, be our first contestant for tonight. It's going to be pvfurmade. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, all right. All right, first game of the evening is on The Rings. This is one of the new maps with the not expansion. But Jeremy, I remember you are heart rushes. It's your Y-O-U apostrophe R-E as in you are heart rushes. That sentence doesn't make any sense. How is Jeremy heart rushes? All caps, by the way, but we're going to learn. EVZ, what do you got for us? That sentence makes no sense. Little, jammy fish. Had a brain fart there for a second trying to figure out which phobie this is. It's very hot. It's very humid, chat. Trying to stay cool. It's not working. Spoiler alert. I was debating not even having the camera on. Try and turn off the lights and maybe shave a couple degrees. It's gone down to only 61% humidity. It was like, I'm not exaggerating, I think it was like 80% humidity last week. But anyway. A couple of early exchanges here. A little friendly fisticuffs, if you will. Fisticuffs. That's what I should use for the potential new Phobies tournament. I think that would be... Like, is Phobie Fisticuffs a good name? If you're hearing this and you're on YouTube, let me know if you think Phobie Fisticuffs would be a good name for, like, a monthly Phobies tournament. Just saying. Some interesting positioning from both players. This is truthfully the very first time I'm seeing this map. Well, I looked at it when it was preview, but this is the first game on this map, I guess, is the better way to put it. The Noxious, clearly a potential solution to the Alistor. I don't know if that's actually going to do anything here. Panic point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 4 in favor of bad guy. Oh, Mangles. Turret this late is interesting. Notably, neither player with any sort of displacement. I think that's kind of reasonable. But despite the early engagements, there's a lot of kind of ignoring the other player. I do like the delayed... I don't want to say invade, but we'll just say the delayed attack from Noxious onto the Alistor. The reason for that, and realistically, you didn't really have an opportunity to get at it before, but now the Tooth Fairy has vacated, the Bow Mangles and the Cassowary out of range, there's no real great way for Alistor to get there. Now, because of a massive life leech, it's likely the Alistor lives, but we're going to get a Muffin anyway. Muffin solves the poison problem, but no native healing spas, so eventually that Noxious can try and poison the Alistor to death. This is a little weird. How do you kill Spirit like that? One of my favorite decks in Mythgard's Spirits. Super obnoxious deck. Like, it was just hyper linear, and it was just... I don't think it was a healthy deck. I don't think it was broken. At the time, I think I said it was broken, but in retrospect, like, I don't know if it was broken, but it was absolutely super linear in a way that was unhealthy. Which I think is really what I meant when I was saying it before. Little aggro positioning here. No self-displacement for PvZ, so Frosty's going to have to get into position the old-fashioned way. Trio at the top trying to force something happening. Puff as an answer to Frosty. 12 keys to 17. Akira. There is an opportunity here for bad guy to try and make something happen, but the Frosty with its positioning there is really going to deter anything coming in. Noxious should be live by this point as well. Bunch of damage going down onto this Akira. I don't think there's any way it dies. But this is a lot of pressure, and it could die before it does anything meaningful. I don't see any great freezes unless you count Puff and Bow Mangles, which honestly isn't terrible here. Because notably the Puff is what's going to thaw everything. But that exposes you to Lobster and Alistor. I don't know if that matters. Getting a couple takedowns here. Of course, we get the big AoE hits out of Akira as well. Is it worth trading 9 keys? Ooh, get the takedown and then the follow-up. That's a brutal turn. That's a brutal turn. And honestly, like, it looked like everything except for the Jin Sting was already there. That was an onboard blunder. It's not even a jump scare to get you. And I don't think it was, like, a real brain buster. It's like, okay, there's 3 or 4 AoEs and a bunch of guys in range. I mean, you could call what bad guy was doing a heart push, but I feel like that's kind of stretching the definition to a degree. I don't really feel like it's a heart push. I don't know. Chad, I need to refill the Detoffs. I'm trying to figure out how to display stuff again. I need to get like one more detolf. I'm not sure. Wiggy! Get the freeze from Frosty. I mean, this is... It's all over but the crying, basically. About half hard health. Panic point advantage still in favor of bad guy, and our hero's team is very much down on this bottom line. Gotta beat feet to get up there. Honestly, there's a decent threat on the heart right now. Rambo's live. For now. The original frog monster is probably about to go down. It's clearly supposed to be a bull. But the leap that it does kind of makes it have a frog-esque behavior. This is actually a fairly dangerous heart push here. Nice, the challenge play setup. Just do some quick arithmetic here, and I imagine that PVZ confirmed that Alistar will in fact not kill his heart. 1,000 damage to the heart. Nice and clean. It's not going to steal the title of closest game where we have had somebody, multiple somebodies, I believe, win with only one hard health left, but freeze for no reason, apparently. I will say, and this is something that I'm sure I brought up before, but like, it is cool to see people playing in frenemies. Even outside tournaments. I don't know if this was a tournament game, but we do get a decent number of game submissions that are frenemies games, and you can tell due to the damage numbers. You know, like Jar did 220, it was 1,000 for that many panic points, and that, like, I like seeing that. I think it's fun seeing the game, in my mind, the way the game is supposed to be played. Now, that's been a debate for a while, like, what is, quote-unquote, the real game? Is it everything at level 1? Is it everything at level 30? Because it does change the relationship between panic points and the hard health and everything. It's, if I recall correctly, I think Karst or somebody had confirmed a while ago that the devs said something to the effect of the game at level 1 is really what it's intended to be, and that things don't scale the way they're supposed to. At least in their minds. Because the scaling for panic points and hard health and stuff stops at a certain point, and then the Phobies outscale it, and it changes, you know, like, you could suddenly murder the heart real quick. Like, way faster than you're supposed to. But anyway, we're going to jump into the next game. Next up, we got Zay 3-3-0. Let's get it. Back on the rings. The ring, or is it the rings, plural? Like gymnastic rings, Super Bowl rings, toilet bowl rings. What are we talking about here? You could say this match is kind of foul. We'll see. You have to read it like it's a James Bond or Austin Powers joke. That's the kind of sentence that demands the James Bond voice. Where it's like the silly one-liner. It's not really a James Bond voice, but like everything that makes fun of James Bond and is like Austin Powers, it's clearly trying to be James Bond. Or a parody of James Bond. They do that voice. All right, we get the new and improved Ray. Threatening our hero's Innocuous. I have a feeling this one's not at level. All right, so we get the body block via Blinky. Bad guy banked to 12. Okay. Like, banking to 9 here is okay. Well, I wanted... Or banking to 10 is like, okay, I wanted to get there. I mean, I guess they... Yeah, if they wanted 8, they would have been at 7. Had to get 1 more. That just... Yeah, whatever. I was going to say, like, that is a function of... They didn't manage the keys properly, but it could just be... Well, I saw Innocuous. I have to answer with Ray. I wasn't originally planning to do Ray, and then I had to adjust, so it's whatever. But Beauty's on the board. Now going to be hunted by Foul. Is Foul enough? I don't know. Chat, seeing Beauty reminds me of Look Outside. It's another game I've been streaming. Single-player RPG, party-based. It's super weird. It's super weird. Has a lot of dark humor. But the general premise is that, like, from outside of our galaxy, we'll call it a celestial being, but you don't actually know. It's like some kind of eldritch monstrosity, a la Beauty, shows up and starts causing people to mutate whenever anyone looks at it, into monsters and stuff. So... From there, what the hell is happening? Eat more chicken. No. Don't eat these chickens. It'll be gross. It'll be very bad. Don't eat these chickens. I'm not clear. Well, I guess we can snowball this to death. Snowball! So, speaking of chicken wings, we got a little French fried murder wing. You can get a blom off of the Beauty. Now we have disease and poison coming out. Our hero really needs to eliminate Ray, which bad guy has conveniently set themselves up for. Because if you eliminate the Ray, then you are much safer in bringing the Innocuous in, although at this point, is the Innocuous even going to do anything meaningful? I think Cassowary needs a sound effect where it actually makes the sound of a real-life Cassowary. Because those things sound weird. Like, you look at a Cassowary, and I don't know if anyone, before hearing it, would ever guess what the animal actually sounds like. And if you don't know what a Cassowary looks like or sounds like in real life, go look it up. You'll be surprised. Boop. Down goes Innocuous, all that effort. And this is kind of what I was talking about, where, like, I don't know that it was ever going to do anything past the point in the game that it was at. I don't know that this is a great map for it either, because I think something like Evo 2.0 does threaten it kind of trivially. I don't know how many other boops are reasonable on this map. That's a great play, though. We haven't seen a droney block push in a long time. Wow. That's like a blast from the past. The counter Noxious into Jackalope. I mean, I guess it's a resurrect. Poison onto the foul, but I don't think that matters at this point. Baby Snaky, the final phobie for Bad Guy. Finnegan also, another displacement tool. Notably, Bad Guy had 2 displacement tools and didn't really seem to make too much of an impact comparatively. Jackalope just going to quickly cap all these panic points. Honestly, I think you could have... There's no way for the Slammer Head to be booped by the Finnegan, I think, to death. It could obviously be booped, but I think there's no positioning that, like, the way you're set up, it would have just gotten pushed straight back. So you could have taken one more panic point, I think, because Baby Snaky's not going to kill it. Not that it mattered, but either way, GG. This looks like a quick one, assuming I got the right game. dearh is our hero. A little dose of Heart Rush. Who could have seen that coming? On... Always Watching? And I just completely drew a blank on the name of this map. I'm pretty sure it's Always Watching. Jet, you think that I should start doing the like rage bait YouTube thing where I just say an obviously known incorrect thing to get people to correct it? No, like people will post something misspelled intentionally or intentionally mispronounce something just to get rage bait engagement. I don't think that, like, it obviously works to a degree, but it can't possibly work well enough to justify it, you know what I mean? Are we doing this? Alright, somebody tell me, real talk. Remember, I talked about this, I think, last week? 2 weeks ago? Whatever the last viewer game was. So... there was a game on this map, and I distinctly remember comparing it to, oh, what map is that? Coulrophobia, where on Coulrophobia, it's just the turrets passing in the night sort of thing, for a lot of people. And then for a while, Karst was on this crusade to convince everyone that no, that is not the optimal line of play, but it doesn't really matter, because if everybody does that, it kind of reinforces that it is the commonly accepted one. It may not actually be correct, but at the end of the day, if everybody's doing it, like, that's the strategy you're going to see. I wonder if there's something similar for this map, in the sense that the most common thing I see on this map are games like this. These players have interacted with each other, like, once all game. Interesting. Huh. Gonna get a triple disease. Oh, no. You can't. No, you gotta leave the tickle. Why did you move the tickles? Moving the tickles can't be right. There's no way. I mean, I guess you can just do this. So, like, moving the tickles doesn't really reduce any surface area. The old Cupcake. Remember when Cupcake was the most broken thing in the game? It almost seems quaint compared to some of the other stuff we've seen. Okay, that's an interesting question to ask. What was the most broken phobie in the game? Huh. I don't think I've ever seen that in a game. I don't think I've ever seen Subnoxious before. But yeah, I wonder, like, let's say pre-nerf boss, pre-nerf any of the Sentinels, pre-nerf beauty, pre-nerf, you know, whatever. My vote... Because you probably have to have multiple categories, because, like, there's most broken... And I also had another idea. What if it was most broken, like, individually? Say, beauty, because it did the most damage, it was most versatile, it could do all this stuff. And then most broken, like, overall has to be Shove Shark, right? Like, original release Shove Shark, where there was 0 cooldown. It's possible original release Phantom is the most broken. But, like, not everybody had it right away, so it was much easier to see how powerful Shove Shark was. I don't know that. I don't know if interesting is the way to describe it, but I'm going to use that word. GG there, dearh. Squiggles, huh? I'm not going to lie, that map seems like garbage. I think that map can go the way of, Agora. Ugh. Alright, we got somebody new. Scorpioastro. The goon is the goat. Alright. Goongla. Shout out to my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fans. Honestly, I don't remember Casey Jones ever saying that, and then in the last... It's probably been longer than the last few years. It's probably pre-pandemic at this point. I remember, like, all of a sudden everybody was like, Casey Jones says Goongla, and I'm like, I don't remember him ever saying this. It's also kind of an odd battle cry. It's too many syllables. And Cowabunga was a celebration after the fact. Typically. Occasionally, they would yell Cowabunga as they jumped in. But that feels like it rolls off the tongue better than Goongla. That is how he says it, right? This is what you get when you submit games. Yeah, it's Goongla. It's apparently originally from the comics. Also in the 2003 TV series and the 2012 TV series. I do remember hearing him, like, seeing a clip a few years ago of the 2012 series, I think, and hearing him say it. I'm like, that just, like, I don't know. A little odd. Pterodactyl, what level is this? Take your guesses for what stress level we're looking at. Whoa. Whoa! Oh, our hero here. Climbing uphill. Massive level disadvantage. And honestly, Pterodactyl's kind of a bully when you're low level for a variety of reasons. I love the Pterodactyl attack animation. I think it's so cool. It's so unique. What do you think is the best set, like, which type of phobie, mechanical, dimensional, whatever, have the best attack animations. Because, like, I really like canines, but I think most of the mechs, probably because they have, like, the Droney series and the Innoculus series and the Hevo series and the Kaboom series, it's like a lot of them are both samey and not overly exciting. I think pretty much every undead attack animation looks cool, except for maybe Bad Sushi. Like, Murderwing's regular attack doesn't look that cool, but Meatball is great. Pterodactyl, great. I like the Gravedigger animation. Obviously, Goon has a great animation. The Mummy one is not spectacular because he just kind of, like, slaps at you. And I think we'd have to separate between abilities and actions, because, like, I think Goon's both ability and attack are they're animated great. I had an example in my head of one that had like a boring attack but had a cool ability, and now I already forgot what it was. We got them mini-me's, but not for long. Our Euro's doing a good job of hanging in there against, like, a massive level differential. And they're doing it the right way. Gotta soak some damage on the heart. Only about half health right now. Part of me wants to start doing viewer games on Saturdays, because I'm not as tired on Fridays and Saturday nights, usually. But Sunday nights, I am beat. See, like, the Mummy animation is not great. His idol is kind of interesting. But his just regular attack is like, he just kind of slaps at you. I think Unbearable's a cool animation. The strangest part of Sheepingas's animation, I mean, there's a lot of things, but is because of the way it does the handstand and, like, bends its ass over its head like that. It's very odd. Which is part of what makes it stand out. A Wham action there. Just to clear out the Droney, huh? I mean, we gotta stem the bleeding a little bit. Bad guy naturally overextended. Got a big level advantage. Thinks they're invulnerable. Oh, that is not gonna end well for you, bad guy. All 4 of those phobies can lay into that mummy, plus the 5 keys that pop out. That's a werewolf. Are you gonna get this? Okay. Not quite enough to take out the mini-me's, I don't think. And also, you gotta split up a little bit because the Noxious is threatening something mean. Mini-me's putting in work. I don't know about this one. Yeah, you get the Blom. You get the lava help, too. Clear out the old line of sight. Oh, bad guy has one key left. I was going to say, please tell me that they don't just, like, run away and hide in the corner or something to be annoying. Dude, you can't win. I hate it when people do this. Like, just accept the loss. You gotta send your final phobia in. You're not winning this. It's not possible. Not under anything approaching remotely normal circumstances. But our hero also has to just end the game. Don't drag it out. You don't need all the panic points. GG. Well played. Very well played. Alright, chat. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, I had to get some water, chat. My, everything hurts. Humidity and everything. I need to get a fan down here. The problem is I can't run the fan while I'm streaming because of the noise. I gotta find a way to set it up so that I can actually stream and have some fucking air circulation, because it is brutal. It is, in fact, brutal. Alright, we got a little nuclrardeath. And a rather quick one. Not quite as quick as the earlier game, but was an interesting game where I was down keys, but had dynamic compensation in the form of central control and panic point pressure. A lot of alliteration there. Don't mind my blunder of my razor mouth. All right. What if I choose to mind? What are you going to do about it? Prometheus. You know, that's kind of this opening's kind of cute. This opening's kind of cute. Tick as the response. I will say that I expected the tick apocalypse when it got buffed. It did show up for a while, but I don't feel like I see tick a ton. This is a nice spread. I don't love the Benny as the follow-up. Like, if you're going to do a turret, why isn't it Bowmangles, given that Tick has already presented itself? The answer is Russell. Alright, some interesting counter picks. Radiator. Alright, so it's Poison Splash. Not a ton of ways to kind of leech this life back. Bachelor's obviously done for. We are slowly pulling this, this right side of the board, gentrifying the right side of the board into, real estate for our hero. I guess this is the blunder. I mean, was the Razor Mouth going to do anything else meaningful before it died here due to the poison? feels as though a good portion of your team isn't going to do a whole hell of a lot. I mean, so what have we lost? We lost Bachelor, Razormouth, and then Cassowary and Benny look like they're not going to do anything. But that is notably 7 keys for the 8 that the Russell invested. And you have a 4-to-1 panic point advantage, despite the Russell. Now, your opponent could argue that if... And, oh, well, I guess it's 8 with the Muffin for the Prometheus. Your opponent could make the argument that, similar to what we saw in previous games, they're using their health pool as a resource. But I'm not sure they're pulling ahead the way they want to. Dude, this Prometheus is doing a lot of interior redecorating. Would this count as exterior? I'm not clear. Speaking of Eldritch Space Monsters, Prometheus, another one. I don't remember the last night we saw 2 beauties in one night. Upcake. Look, bad guy, I know this is very tempting with that delicious-looking diagonal, but I don't think that's happening. That's got to be a dead Russell. Wait, hold on. I want to see... That Benny actually didn't take that much damage overall. That's a big AoE hit. Some Speedola action. Bad guy, despite the Sparky, is kind of... They burned a lot of keys and not many electrical availability, or not much electrical availability here. How often do you think type switching is important? Of like... So our hero started off with a lot of undead and dimensionals, and is now closing the game out with a fair amount of mechs. Oof. Admittedly, Radiator came down early. But where I'm going with it is, like, how much does the ability to pivot matter? It's obviously contingent on your opponent having phobies that, you know, actually... Like, that it's relevant that you pivot away or to certain things, but... That big panic point advantage was paying off. 5-0. Double Speedola on the heart. Oh, I like that. I like that. That's a heads-up play with the Blinky. Locking off the panic point so there's not even a chance. I mean, odds are you needed... you need these two to even have a chance at clearing these. But I guess there was an outside. Like, if you bring the Sparky and the Tick down. And then the Ray Chargels could hypothetically claim this point, but I think you would get it anyway. Bad guy's best efforts. Not good enough, GG. Prometheus, the MVP of that game. Hashtag just saying. Alright, Painful Fate. Did you properly enter the details for this one? Oh. Oh, so Scorpioastro is Painful Fate. Wait, what? Okay, so this is interesting. This is interesting. We may not get to all of these tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is only game 6, 7, 8, 9. We might get like one more. So this is an interesting way to look at things, and I actually kind of like this idea. Did you set everything to level 1? So I'll read the notes momentarily. These are level 1. And Painful Fate says, might be confusing, but I decided to create 3 accounts that are frenemies together. They're all mine. So I can fight myself. Hope you like this. Self-fight, as I will put it. I wonder who the third one is. So Scorpioastro apparently is Painful Fate. I do like this idea. And honestly, I think that the devs should implement this so you don't have to create additional accounts. I think this should be a baseline feature in Phobies that you can play against yourself. Like, this is a common thing that happens in chess, right? Like, you'll play chess games against yourself. Now, is it like effective training? I mean, it's like anything else. You're training certain things, and you need to, if you're going to do this, you need to be honest with yourself, where it's like, okay, I'm trying to improve on this map. My opponent does this strategy. I want to try and counter it. You can't just throw one way or the other, or you get nothing out of it. You have to consciously be doing something that actively helps you. But I do like this. This is kind of interesting. I'd be curious what other people's thoughts are. Do you think that this would be something you would utilize? I mean, some of these phobie choices are a little odd. You know what would also be a funny mode? I know I don't like these ideas of like seasonal modes. I think if you're going to add modes to the game, or like rotating modes, like some games will do every month or every week, there's this other silly mode that rotates. But in Warcraft 3, it's an RTS, that real-time strategy that has heroes. So it's like an RTS RPG hybrid. And your heroes can level up throughout the game, but your regular units don't level up. Other than, like, you give them upgrades, but they don't level up in the same sense. And there's a mode where, because each faction only has 4 heroes, and then there's a bunch of neutral ones that anybody can get. But the undead can't have night elf heroes, the humans can't have orc heroes, and etc. But there is a mode, like a custom map, where you can shuffle it, and it will randomly assign you a hero from any faction, neutral, yours, or otherwise, whenever you click the train hero button. And, you know, it's just a silly thing. It's obviously not balanced, but it's just a silly, fun thing. And I think it might be funny to have a mode where it's like phobie powers are completely randomized, so you could pop out a razor mouth that's Akira. Your goon might actually be a Sparky. It would be very difficult to do because you'd have to create all of these extra database values. So, like, if goon is really blinky, what does it get? Like, it flies and then loses its bomb. So now Goon has to have have a way for the game to recognize that it can go over obstacles and abyss tiles, and that might just get extremely confusing. Not just for those playing. It's one of those things that sounds interesting in concept, and it's probably just a nightmare to actually have exist. We'll challenge play, take down the creep. A primate number 9, a phobie that I don't even want to say it fell off because I don't think it was ever here. Like, was there any point where primate number 9 was ever considered like, oh yeah, I want to use that phobie? Because there are some bad phobies, like Moly Bully, that did have a brief stint where it's like, oh, well, this is actually pretty efficient compared to whatever else we were comparing it to at the time, like before many releases. It's like, okay, I can respect using it, but I don't think there was any point where Primate number 9 is like you'd ever want to use it. This definitely feels like Painful Fate is like, I'm going to take a bunch of phobies that I don't typically utilize and throw them together. There's a few that are stock, you know, like the Stabbies and the Murder Wings, Foam Angles. But Primate, Slayer, Yeti, even Sizzle is like, it's not a common thing. Hey, Luffy, what's good? Thank you for that resub. 45 months. 42-month streak. Welcome back. I'm doing all right. I'm sweating to death. I hate the summer. I really hate the summer. I mentioned it on stream the other night that I might just, like, literally shave my head. Why is the thing stuck? Is that stuck on screen for everybody? Why is this stuck? Well, that's annoying. I'm doing that, making it blank. If that's still stuck on screen, I'm going to have to turn it off because it's going to obstruct shit. That's annoying. Hold on, let me change scenes and come back. He broke it. He broke it. Oh, shit. It's everywhere. That's actually kind of funny. It's also funny because it's, like, partially turned. So I can, like, hide behind it. This is like Dark Helmet. Told you never to have that thing down in front of me. How do I know you're not making faces at me under that? Shout out to Spaceballs. I can't wait for Spaceballs 2. I'm legit excited. I don't think I've ever gone to see a Mel Brooks movie in theaters. I don't think I have. I think I've always seen them at home. We used to always go to the Dollar movie theater when I was a kid, and I don't remember Mel Brooks movies going to the Dollar theater. I don't even remember what movies maybe we did? I don't remember what movies we saw in those theaters. Like, I can picture walking into the movie theater with my family and going, like, into the movie theater and then, you know, like, the vestibule area and, like, you buy the tickets and popcorn and stuff. And then I remember going into the theater itself, and I can picture it pretty vividly, but I can't picture what was on the screen. Memory is a weird thing. We've completely gotten sidetracked from this game. I don't know what's happening. There's, like, weird stuff all over the place, and not like, oh yeah, all phobies are weird. Like, there's just bizarre things all over the place. I hope that the AC gets fixed in those trucks for you, Luffy, because whom. It's a good whom. It's not good to be out in the heat. Funny story about that whole global warming thing. All right. How can the globe be warming? My AC works here, right? Let me tell you, my AC doesn't work. I've said it before, we have a couple window units, but they could not keep up. And I think they're on their way out. Like, they're not even, like... I don't know, it doesn't feel like they're putting out cold air anymore. It's just kind of cool. It's only 80 degrees right now, but it feels gross. Feels awful. Pop, there goes Kerbloom. I guess bad guy's winning. Even though it's the same person. Still mid-90s. I mean, the sun went down, so it's cooling off a little bit, but it's disgusting. It used to be, it would take until, like, August, and then there would be, like, a week where it was 100+ degrees, and then the rest of the summer was hot, but it wasn't bad. And now every year it's like, it goes from, it was a week, and now it's like a whole month, and now it's over a month, and it's always a ridiculous amount of humidity, and I don't like it. I don't like it. But I do like Mel Brooks and his movies. I did watch Spaceballs again recently. And we watched Princess Bride. We watched Spaceballs. We watched, I know Princess Bride isn't a Mel Brooks movie, but we were going to watch Robin Hood Men in Tights, but we ended up not watching it for some reason. I don't remember why. I've said it before, but, like, I don't know if I said it on stream. We talked about it, but, like, I don't care about celebrities at all. Like, I don't follow any of the news about them. I don't care about what they do in their lives. Like, whatever. They're just people, right? And every once in a while, my wife will be like, oh, did you see so-and-so died? I'm like, nah, it's kind of sad, but, like, I don't have any, like, I don't know these people personally, you know what I mean? And I don't know Mel Brooks personally, obviously, but I will tell you for sure I will be sad when that man goes, and he is not a young dude. He did look good compared to, like, he did a commercial during COVID. It was one of those, like, you know, I think it was him and his son, and it was basically like, you know, take care of the elderly. Like, don't, if you think you're sick or you've been exposed to someone who's sick, like, don't go into the nursing home sort of thing. And give everybody COVID. And he, from what I remember, he didn't look good. But then when he did the promo for Spaceballs, which obviously they're going to put him in a bunch of makeup and the best lighting possible and stuff and make him look good, but, like, he looked fairly healthy to me. I mean, for a guy who's, like, 98 or something. How old is Mel Brooks? We'll look it up after the game. It's the last turn. GG. He's 99. Jesus. He's 99 years old. Good for him. I'm not turning off the notification. Well, you know what I could do? Hold on. This would probably be better. Hold on. I'm gonna fix this. It's not gonna fix it, but it's gonna do this. Hold, please. Studio mode, notifications. There we go. So notifications will not work right now. I have to remember to turn it back on afterwards. Next game. Ah, well, that game ain't gonna be in there, because that we already know. Oh, wait, maybe? Oh, I was incorrect. Man, dearh is playing sparingly, I guess. All right, dearh, we got a rush hour game from you. Don't mess my... Don't mess my brute-worst. That's not what it says. That sentence is weird. Don't mess with my brute-worst. That sounds like... Luffy wasting 250 chomps. Because the notifications are, in fact, busted. I don't know why. Dad, I painted a bunch of minis. I actually finished a box. This whole, like, mountains of gray plastic. I was pretty close to being one of those people where I'm like, I have a ton of minis that are unpainted. I still have a ton to paint, but I was like, oh, I should get these other ones. They look cool, and I should get this. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to. And I decided to just paint the ones I have. And I painted all the lizards. Painted an entire box of lizards. Although I didn't need the whole box, so I took the ones that I didn't need and started painting them like weird stuff. Like I made one of the little chameleons into a red Yoshi. Or tried to. Another one of the Sauruses, which are like the big linebacker-sized lizards. I just painted him neon orange because I thought it'd be funny. I was gonna make him neon pink, and I asked my wife, I'm like, should I make him pink, orange, or I forget what the other color I picked, but it was something other bright and obnoxious. I made him orange because it's funny. I still have to finish painting some of the other teams, but like the minis are going to be tough to paint because the poses they're in, so I might just not paint some of them, or I'm going to have to do it with actual paint brushes as compared to paint markers, because the markers are like, they're markers, they're just too thick to do it. dearh rocking the jammy fish. Jammy fish making multiple appearances tonight, or a couple of appearances, maybe not multiple. That might be an exaggeration. Something I am well known for. There's the brute-worst. Why do I get the feeling that bad guy's gonna yoink the brute-worst with Moffat? This sounds like a euphemism. That bad guy's going to utilize Miss Moffat to activate her ability to pull brute-worst into the team, and then brute-worst is gonna go ham. Brute-worst is a very funny phobie. Brute-worst might be a little pushed. I don't think it's anywhere near the top of, like, at least right now. I haven't seen any evidence that brute-worst is problematic yet. I am always concerned about disease being too powerful because it does weird stuff. I think the thing is that disease warps the game in a way that, like Karst always says that it accelerates the game, but that it does, but just because of the way Phobies works, I think it too sharply modifies how the game is played. I'm gonna disease everybody. Only onto the spider, but that is enough to kill it. And to be honest, like, bad guys kind of bullied up into their one corner right now. However, they do have 15 keys, only 5 available though, so the reinforcements are going to have to wait like another turn for something meaningful to be able to be done. Gonna yoink the Gesundheit to snipe Innocuous, makes sense. But you're going to be trading 7 keys for 4 momentarily. We do turn off the lava. Is that enough? I don't know that that's enough. Oh my god! Paddle's going ham. Down goes Bo. Slap. Bad guy still with 10 keys. But not really in a position to try and get some value here. We're going to take down paddles. I mean, alright, we score a kill if you're bad guy. Yeah, that Rusty's not getting it done. Yeah, Brute Worst is going to get another AoE hit. Wow, this Brute Worst has gotten so much value. I wonder if bad guy lost track of the cooldown. It is a pretty quick cooldown for Brute Worst. And now that it's a much bigger AoE, like I said, maybe Brute Worst is a little pushed. I think a stat reduction would do a lot to help. Assuming that it's actually a problem. Like, if we assume that Brute Worst is too strong, I think that, like, a health reduction would go a long way. Then you could get one disease hit, your opponent counterattacks, kills the Brute Worst, and tries to make a push, and it'll depend on what the two of you do. Giggles, huh? I was gonna say, are we just going for the heart here? I feel like you could have put the Brute Worst in where Hematic is, then just shoot the whatever. Like, basically just flip Brute Worst and Ginseng, and you would have been better off. I don't know, maybe not. Bad guy with the 4-to-1 panic point advantage, though. But I don't think they have enough damage. It's going to take forever for Giggles and Slayer to get into position. Brute Worst obviously has a bunch of damage, or a bunch of health. Okay, we Phantom, but I don't think this matters. Obviously not based on the turn meter, but, like, bad guy got bullied too many times by that Brute Worst. I have to agree. That Brute Worst put in a lot of work. I will say, notably, paddles also mattered. Yes, the Brute Worst didn't get in on that first AoE disease. Like, we only got the, what's it called? The Moffat, but you were able to not just get the kill there, but also get it into position so that it just made your opponent's positioning super awkward. They had to respect distance on it. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, jumping in with another Zay game. Big CGI monster fights. Or is it practical effects? I don't know. We shall see. We're back on Rush Hour. I'm not sure why. Why are we on Rush Hour? I have my Blood Bowl. Oh, what's Blitz Bowl cards here? Can't actually see them. I don't know why, like, being that close, it zones it out, but if I put it by my face, you can see it. This is the Snotling team. I don't exactly know what a Snotling is. They kind of look like goblins. What's annoying is, like, the Blitz Bowl teams are smaller than the full Blood Bowl teams. And there's, for example, there is a Lizard Man team. And each team is, like, on average, there's 6 players, whereas there's 11 for Blood Bowl. Hence why I had extras. But the problem is that they don't have teams made for Blitz Bowl for all of these teams. So I have to buy the, like, full ones, which isn't bad, but the nice thing is that the Blitz Bowl ones are easier to assemble. They just snap together, although I've glued them before I realized that they snap together. So I'm like, oh, well, they'll come apart. I'll glue them, and I probably shouldn't have glued them. They snap together, and they aren't pre-assembled because they have to snap together, but they're not on sprues. So it's just, like, way easier. And they're also already color-coded, so they don't have to be painted, but it's just nice. And some of them, like I said, it's going to be a pain in the neck to try and paint them after the fact, so I may just leave it alone. So we have a very standoffish-looking match by the looks of it between a few different one-movers, some 3-rangers, and then erratic to shoo away the opposing one-moving mechanicals. I don't know if the mic's picking that up, but the dog is going absolutely ballistic. He's not barking. They're playing with him upstairs. They're just playing catch. And he is going nuts. I don't know if people can hear it. He's a very good boy. Maybe I should get rid of the random toy, and I should do random dog pictures of Noodle and Harley. I will say, after Harley went over the Rainbow Bridge last year, I still don't feel right. Like, it's not the same. I love Noodle deeply, and I don't want to, like, make it sound like he's not a good dog or anything, but, like, it still bothers me, and I don't think it'll ever stop bothering me. But I will say that I take a ridiculous amount of pictures of Noodle, because, like, my phone had a camera before, but it just never occurred to me to, like, take pictures of her. I have some. But, like, I just didn't take that many pictures, and the ones I have were not great quality. Because, you know, it was an older phone, and comparatively, like, at the time, I'm sure it was fine, but it definitely wasn't, like, a top-in-line camera. Ooh, we get the boop into... Speaking of Brute Worst... There's no way this thing dies, right? The spread here is nice, though, but the Brute Worst can reach both the Erratic and the Jin Sting with the disease right now, so that's not good. But what I'm getting at is that I have, like, way, way, way more pictures of Noodle now already. Like, orders of magnitude more than I ever did of Harley. Even of her, you know, like, at this point. And, I wish I had taken more of her. I wish I had taken more pictures. I do have the Duchess picture of her, though. So there is that. There's a Barzilla. CGI monster numero uno. Although our hero wouldn't have hurt on that heart after my long story that had nothing to do with the game. I still don't know clearly how many people tune in to watch the Phobies games and like commentary on the games versus me telling random ass stories and shit. So where's the other big CGI monster? I guess you need something to die so you can unlock the keys. Ginsting, take it one for the team. What? It can't possibly be the right thing to do with Barzilla there. I mean, I guess it's fine. Are you gonna lock him in? You only got 6 keys left. What are you talking about, CGI monsters? What is happening? I picked the wrong game? I'm disappointed. I was promised 2 giant monsters duking it out. I think the most unsettling thing about Barzilla is just how far down its neck its mouth extends. Like, it looks like the sides of its mouth extend all the way down to, like, the base of its neck. Like, imagine if your lower jaw connected actually at, like, your collarbones. That's what it looks like. The hinge for its jaw is at its collarbones. That's crazy. Tiny Tim. Bold move. I guess the bad sushi was the international sign for I surrender. I don't know what's happening here. One electrical down, but I don't think it matters. Just the systemic dismantling of bad guy. Somebody's pinging me in Discord. 675. Now we gotta capture all the panic points and do a bunch of things that don't matter. GG, we got him. Got him. Well played. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. We got 2 more. Longer one tonight, chat. I did take a break a little bit. Didn't kind of full indigestion here. Honestly, I think the indigestion is just from, like, the heat. I probably shouldn't be sitting down in the basement when it's like this. It's gross. I'm watching the humidity drop in real time, though. 59%. Woo. It's a veritable cold snap, excuse me. So Scorpioastro here, not playing against themselves. My favorite phobie is Goon. That's why I use him a lot. In this game, I think he's been very useful for my victory. I was really disappointed that that didn't turn out to be like a Dr. Seuss rhyme. I was really hoping that was going to be a Dr. Seuss rhyme. Goon is my favorite phobie. I really like him a lot. Alright, we'll do it like a Mad Lib, chat. Those of you in Twitch stream, or if you are watching this on YouTube, what is the completion of that rhyme? Let me know down in the comments. Googla. You know what I find funny? So if you look at Cerberus or Primate, they're moving around. It's called a breathing animation for when you're standing still and you're doing something, right? But they're undead. So, like, for Cerberus and Primate, it makes sense that they're just kind of, like, moving around. However, if you look at Gravedigger and Goon, it does look like they're respirating. So that means whoever created these phobies either gave them lungs, no reason, or these phobies think that they actually do need to breathe. Now, I do remember there was a story, or was it a movie? I don't remember. I think it was a written story where, like, the characters, because they were immortal or something, like they were magic and they were immortal, they didn't actually have to breathe. I think it was in Magic the Gathering. Like, during the Invasion books. I think it was Urza, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, the guy is so powerful magically. He's now basically a god, right? He doesn't need to breathe. But he does take a moment in the story to, like, he stops and breathes. And he says something like, it helps me think. Because it's like, he remembered before he got to being this powerful, he remembers the time of when he wasn't that powerful and needing to breathe. I think that's what it was from. It's probably a common thing that, like, has come up in other stuff. Alright, bad guy making their push. It's a pretty substantial push. Our hero with not a ton of keys in position to defend it. That's a powerful flail hit. That's a not spectacular hit from Unbearable there. Alright, this might stymie the push. Also, big panic point advantage for our hero. A lot of pressure going on. Oh, the heebie-jeebies special. This is actually hilarious. Big heads-up play from bad guy. I don't know if this is good enough. 3 to 2 panic points. However, our hero can break out kind of trivially if they wish. Blom. That's a good blom. Takedown on the Gravedigger. Presumably a takedown on the Inoculus, too. Got him. Dude, Primate putting in work. How does this game go on? Oh, they still have 10, 15 keys left. I was like, this is a massacre. Realistically, this game is over. You can't come back from this kind of deficit. You're just not. You're just not. Unfortunately not. Oh, there we go. We got the jar. I was going to say, not quite enough to take that Klepto out, but pop goes the Klepto. That would be a lot of phobies to not very many phobies. Last I checked, 7 is in fact a bigger number than 1. Onion boy. Not gonna matter. Bwam. Here's a question. Does Onion Boy pop out as enraged? Like, does he come out of the vault enraged if the trigger is already active, or do you have to take an action with him to make him transform? Like, I'm curious when the game logic checks to see if he should be enraged. Those are similar sound effects for those attacks. Yeah, Primate's just going to tear up the heart. Not quite enough damage to kill Ogre, but like I said, this doesn't matter. Our hero just embracing the sauna. Everybody's always got to do this. I say it every time. You get, like, just kill the heart or kill the phobies, whichever is faster. You don't need to do all these things. You get all the points when you win. Sure. GG. You got him. All right, chat. Last game of this particular evening. And of course, we're ending on a longer one. This is yet another self-debating, we'll say, game. Another one of my self-fights, but I lost this time against myself. Hope you enjoy. I guess technically you always win against yourself, sort of. On the same map. Interesting that Painful Fate chose this one. I kept knocking things on the floor earlier today, Chad. I was trying to clean up and organize stuff, and then I put stuff down, and I realized it was on a pile. Like, too late that it was on a pile of stuff. It was not very stable, and then it ended up all on the floor. And now I gotta clean that up, too. Mistakes were made. Hashtag a day in my life. I don't know. So what's going on out there, chat? How's everybody doing? Hope that your weekend went well. As we jump into yet another week. My week... probably going to be a nightmare. Again, last week was actually really tough for real-life reasons. I only got, as I started the stream out with, I only have about a week and a half to decide what I'm doing for the World Championships for Star Wars. And then, it's funny because it won't even necessarily be the off-season for that game. There isn't an off-season. This is looking very familiar. Like, this side, the Primate and the Jeeves, or that side, I guess, bad guy, Primate and the Jeeves, very different, but Glob is different from Painful Fate. I'm still very interested to see, like, ooh, an oopsie baby. Yeah, I get it. So, two things. One, although I like the idea of being able to play against yourself like this, Especially if you could use your own collections, so that way it's not like, well, I gotta create a new account and then build the collection up, and then, you know, like, oh, I have these phobies on this account, but not these, and like, that's kind of silly. Especially when it comes to like level-based phobies, like the stress level phobies. But I think there is another layer as compared to like playing chess against yourself, where it's a set collection, it's a set startup, there aren't as many variables. I think it is difficult, it is going to be more difficult to even be honest with yourself. Not that you're going to, oh, well, I want this phobie to win, so I throw the game by playing poorly, or intentionally throw the game so this phobie wins, and then it's like, well, I was winning with this phobie. Like, that's not what I'm saying. It's more that there's so many factors involved in a game of phobies, starting quite literally with which ones you choose to put on the board, that it's going to be very difficult to keep yourself honest. Because you need to, for example, if Painful Fate loads their team up, and then they swap over to their other account, Scorpioastro, and says, hey, I just realized I have a gap in this team where Frosty can take over the game, where Boss can take over a game, where Russell can take over a game, where whatever can take over a game. You need to make sure that you're not pushing yourself consciously into those traps, either to allow the other side to capitalize, or intentionally missing those traps, where it's like, hey, maybe you made a mistake even against yourself, and then you went, wait a minute, I am open to this. Because if you're using this as a tool to help improve your gameplay, you need to be as honest with yourself as possible so that you can correctly identify, yes, I am being blind to XYZ, and therefore I need to do whatever. So the power down there is interesting, because I feel like, I don't know, you could spider pull, and you only get like 2 hits, because you'll get the, you get 3 hits. You can get a Jeeves hit, you can get a Primate hit, and you can get a Sheep hit. Maybe. No, I think you can only get 2 of those 3. How's he gonna get poisoned through all that ice? You know, we don't have a... We have tooth phobies, like Tooth Fairy. But we don't have, like, a dentist phobie or a drill phobie, I don't think. Because that's a common phobia, right? Like, a lot of people are afraid of going to the dentist, or at least they don't like going to the dentist. But that was the other thing I was going to say earlier, is I'm very interested in seeing what the Phobies team wants to do. We've gotten this map update, which kind of came out of the blue, and I do like that they are not waiting for, oh, well, we'll roll the maps into the next update, and we got to wait till October. Whenever they feel that it's appropriate, and I don't know if that is indicative of a change. It's a, well, we meant to do it in the last one and we just didn't get to. It's a, we're finally free of, you know, whatever requirements there were under what Smoking Gun was doing previously. I don't know. But I am very curious what their plan is. We still haven't ever seen really a roadmap for what Phobies is going to be, but I will point out, if you haven't already, I think you should go watch the Phobie report. I forgot what it's called already, but like if you go to the official Phobies channel, the community managers are doing a podcast, which I think is great, and I think this should have been happening all along. I think that it's a great asset to Phobies. Just to have an official capacity, like, the first episode was just like an introductory thing, like meet who the team members are, and they did some giveaways and things like that. And I think that as an official platform, there's always going to be limitations on what they can or are willing to do. The old double pull action. You know, like, they're not going to leak something. They're not going to comment on certain things if there isn't an answer, because it's a first-party program. But I do think that it is important to have that mouthpiece, and then that is a conduit through which the dev team can speak. And it can be filtered through their PR managers so that it is presented in a way, or whatever way they want it. Like, I don't think it's bad that they have people who are like, okay, well, this has to go out to the public. We can't just tell them this. It has to be phrased like this. And I don't think that's bad. I think a lot of people's first reaction to it might be that it is bad because it's, you know, we're not getting the unfiltered version or uncensored version or whatever. But there's a reason that you have that stuff to protect everybody involved and to make people understand that it isn't just, oh, well, we just vomit whatever ideas we feel like onto the board. But I am glad that it is happening in general. I think it's very important. It looks like Painful Fate may have won this one. I know this one was kind of almost just like one of the Zoomer videos where there's like 9 things going on the screen at the same time while someone's talking over it. Oh, that's actually kind of cute. That's kind of cute. That is a good interaction to know, and like I said, would be a good way to test things like that, because there is... What the hell just happened? We haven't seen that bug in a while. Like, there is a world where maybe you wouldn't try that because you would think that it would pull the glob into the pit, but it's a good way to test things like that. GG. Well played. And with that, chat, that's the end of the 10 games for today. Only had one that broke or wasn't available. Not bad. Not bad overall. If you're interested in getting your own games on stream, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord as mentioned at the beginning. We're going to be doing probably a Discord stream tomorrow, I think. But we'll be back next week. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and tune in next time for more Random Thoughts.